Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is my first stream here on YouTube, and I'm going to start streaming more and more content here as well as my other areas. But this we're going ahead and do a town hall recap of my 2 cents or my take on this previous June 19th, 2023 town hall. So welcome, everybody, and I'm your host. Axler Twinblade is my in-game name. I go by nfoGuides on Twitch and also here on YouTube. So welcome, everybody. I'm also the creator of Barons Toolbox, browser extension for the Splinterlands game. So what I want to do today is just take time and go ahead and kind of just give everybody my take on the recent town hall that we had. And yeah, if you happen to pop in and catch this live, feel free to jump into chat, say hello, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the town hall that just went through, I'm not going to read this town hall line by line. I just want to go through and kind of recap the things in my take on some of the things that were mentioned that jump out to me, good, bad, indifferent. And just give you guys an insight into what I'm thinking. Just for some background, I've been playing Splinterlands now for about 2 years and 3 or 4 months. So I've been around for a while. I was here when Untamed packs of cards were being sold and caught the tidal wave of those selling out. And yeah, so I'm not a OG, not the original game when it first released, but I've been here quite a while now. So, okay, so let's just kind of go over some of the first things that were talked about. And again, I don't want to review this verbatim, so what I'm going to do is not really look at this town hall piece here. I'm going to more so just kind of go over here and go through the game as I'm talking about items and things. So first and foremost, one of the big takeaways I got from this town hall was Aggrod's or Aggie's perspective on a question that was asked: how's the company doing as far as company assets go? Do they have enough funds and resources to pay the staff? How's everything looking there? And previously, I would have said that I was getting worried that they didn't have enough assets and things were going to look worse and worse. Now, however, after this was aired on the town hall, Agrod seems to feel and say that he feels they have enough assets and financial stability for another year. Now, it is crypto, so he did lob the caveat in there of, yeah, if the crypto market completely blows up, there's always a chance Splinterlands could blow up. But it actually made me feel better that I just got the feeling and the perspective from him that the company is doing just fine, in spite of, you know, the downturn in the crypto markets. So I really took away from that I feel comfortable continuing to reinvest my earnings in the game back into the game. And so it just helps ease my mind that for the most part, they're going to get these next big things out that they've been working on for some time. And that's when I really believe the game will start to have its own uptick regardless of the actual crypto markets. I'm not saying it will spike, but I think it will start having an uptrend or an uptick. Okay, so one of the next things is they've been talking about SPS staking. Kind of has been moved into the forefront of things, and it's very close to going live. And this would include an SPS rental market to go with it. And so what they're talking about here is right now, all the but let's look at the battles first. Or leagues, I should say. Right now, to get in Gold League, what you're looking at is you need this level of combat power, 75,000 combat power to get into Gold 2. This is a very old and outdated system that they've been wanting to get rid of. And it is in the SPS white paper that it would get replaced with SPS staking. Well, this is now getting closer and closer. But to make it fair for everybody, those of us that have been here 2 years, we've got some SPS built up and saved up. And so they want to make sure they're as fair as possible to a brand new player to give them the ability to come in and be able to rent SPS on day one, just like when the rest of us might already have it saved up. So that way they're not being left in the dust while the rest of us that already have it can just keep going full tilt. So it sounds like this is very close to going live. It will include the rental market, and effectively what that's going to do is that's going to affect, in a sense, how much reward points you get for each battle that you win. So in order to keep winning at the rate we're used to right now, to get into, the Gold League and Diamond League, you're looking at numbers upwards of 120 some odd thousand SPS that you need staked. This will let people come in and be able to rent it. Now, what the us players will decide how much it's going to cost for those rentals. So that's kind of good to know, and I believe there is some eye candy from Nate right here. So somebody who has extra, they can go ahead and say they can list their extra on the market in chunks or groups of SPS, and they can set a price. And I think this here is somebody who's trying to get this much SPS power and how much they're willing to bid on that SPS power. So the UI is there, and these icons down below represent might show up in the game. It's not definite, but might show up in the game representing if your icon looks like this, means you should be getting 100% of the rewards that you're currently getting. I believe this is what it's going to look like. So, and here would be if you don't have enough SPS staked, and so on and so forth. So overall, this they say is close, and we've been hearing about this for a while. And I don't recall, but I think they said they might be trying to do an initial round of banning bots with the release of this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leave a comment in the or leave a comment. Let me know if you remember them saying that or not. But it sounds to me like this is going to be one of the first things out in July. Okay, one of the next things that they talked about, not really much information I want to cover on it. It's more so I want to talk about 3 things, and then I want to, in a sense, give my predictions of when these things are going to release. And so the next one here is the tower defense game is entering QA testing. So this is Soulkeep. So right now we know it's been in beta for a while, and you can't play the beta unless you have purchased 500 packs or so, or more. And so this is getting ready to go into the QA testing. Now, if QA testing goes well, I can see this being ready to go live rather quickly. QA testing is kind of like it's the last step before they kind of push this out the door. So again, the fact that this is entering QA testing is pretty big in the sense of timing. This is really close. If this is in QA testing and they believe this to be the let's say we'll call it the go live package, then just like with them releasing new cards in the game, they usually put them on a QA tester for Mavs to test 1 or 2 weeks before they release the cards. So, knock on wood, I'm thinking tower defense could relatively be coming out the door sooner than they're alluding to. But because a lot of the information comes from Double Coconut, they don't want to say much about the tower defense aspect, and they don't want to promise something because it's not the Splinterlands team, it is the Double Coconut. Okay, so the third thing that is kind of scary, I'm a little bit upbeat about it, and that is land. They mentioned that land phase 1.5, we're looking at, here's my plots right here. We're looking at land 1.5 is they're saying only 50% done. Now, this would include staking cards on the plots of lands, being able to harvest resources, which in the beginning will be grain, SPS, and the Secret of Pretoria research. Now, 50% is at first it feels like, oh great, it's delayed really bad again. And I agree. However, I want to shed a little bit better light on this from my perspective. My perspective on this is 50% done, but they made a comment that Hardpoint has functional code that enables the card to be staked on a plot of land, and the card then shows up as locked. And all of this is working on the actual blockchain. This is, in my opinion, more than 50% done. Once you have a very a difficult part of core functionality done, then it goes from there very easily. The next pieces become a lot easier. Since you can stake one card, okay, now it's just a matter of kind of rinse and repeat to allow you to stake 5 cards, but if you have a Rooney, allow a 6th card. Okay, so really what they're waiting on, from the sounds of it, for land is mostly UI and UX for all these moving parts, which, you know, that team has a lot of things going on, and this could be, you know, really where the big holdup is. I think as far as programming goes, I think they're a lot closer than it sounds when they say the words 50%. An analogy I would give here is perhaps look at it like a skyrise building. When they're building the foundation for a skyrise building, it seems like it takes forever and they're not really doing much. But then once that foundation's done and they start actually building the structure on the foundation, everything seems to go a lot faster. Okay, another piece I would like to bring up is the tech modernization of the items and markets pages are almost done. They're going to release them at the same time. Now, this from a Barons Toolbox perspective, I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, so what this means is the items page here and then the markets page here are getting ready to go the way of tech modernization. Now, while I don't completely agree with all of their UI choices, I like the fact that once these two pages go to tech modernization, kind of one of the last pages they really need to work on here is the battle screen. This is what all of us want them to work on. Now, I would say don't get your hopes up for Battle 2.0 to release with tech modernization of the battles page. But if they simply rework the battles page with the new tech modernization, this is still a huge step towards them being able to implement a Battles 2.0 system. I suspect there will be a couple of baby steps before we get to the full animated Battles 2.0 that some of us saw the little demo for in Las Vegas for Splinterfest. So that's just one thing I want to bring up there is I think it's really good that the items and the markets pages are going to get their tech modernization done, because that really then means the only things left, all of which have to deal with battles, because events is a lot like battles, and so those two kind of need to go hand in hand. I think the guilds will get their tech update with some of the other guild stuff coming in. So overall, I think that's a very positive thing to hear, that those two pages are going to go the way of tech modernization very soon. And I don't think they're there yet. No, they're definitely not there. But I did see them push some market updates. And from my perspective in toying with it, it seems like the market is a lot faster after today's updates. Okay. So, what are my kind of predictions here? I know I was definitely hoping for them to release some code here, some bigger pieces of the code for land, tower defense, SPS, GLX, and all this in June. It did not happen, but we're past all that. We know that wasn't going to happen in June, so let's not bring up salty wing. So of the three things I think we are looking at could hit in July, we got SPS staking and the SPS rental market. We have tower defense. And then, even though land is 50% done, I believe there was a question asked of Weirdbeard if he thought July was doable. I do believe he said yes. He thinks that July would be doable. Again, I would refer to this as it relates to, with Hardpoint being done with some of the functional code that's really important foundation code, some of the other code can come together very fast on top of it. So, of those three, SPS staking, tower defense, land 50% done, or land phase 1.5, here are my predictions. Here is what I, Axler Twinblade, or nfoGuides here on YouTube and Twitch, or known for my Barons Toolbox tool set, I'm going to predict, since we have, let's see here, in July, the first release date is Tuesday, is the July 4th. Nothing's going to come out on the July 4th. It's just not going to happen. So my prediction is on the Tuesday, July 11th. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think the tower defense will go live around July 11th. The reason I'm putting that first is because it's in QA testing. And if we had heard that SPS staking was in QA testing, I might lean that way. But I think we're going to see tower defense first around July 11th. That's the limb I'm going to stand on. And then SPS staking, I think, is fairly close as well. So I'm actually going to say, my guess is July 18th, we will get SPS staking. With the SPS rental market. And so that just leaves land. When do I think land phase 1.5 will come out? Well, I highly doubt we're going to get all three of these things in July. I'm just trying to keep my expectations a little bit low. And so I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's not going to be July 25th. And so now we're into August. And I know they're going to push hard to try to get to the August 1st release of land phase 1.5, because they want to say they finished it in the same work age that they're on. However, I think they're going to miss that by a week. So I'm going to say August 8th is when I believe we're going to see Land Phase 1.5 finally release, is on August 8th. So I think it'll slip a little bit past. But yeah, I would love to hear your guys' feedback. And so that's just kind of my take here on the town hall and some of the things that jumped out at me and my predictions going forward with, since they don't like to say release dates, I'm going to just give it a shot and throw out my 2 cents. A couple of additional notes I just want to bring up for those that didn't see it is they did have the question about how will Rooney work on land, and basically there's some confusion of if you put a Rooney on the land, it gives you an extra card slot. So does that mean you get the Rooney, the 5 slots, and an extra card slot? The answer is no. When you put a Rooney on the land, the Rooney is one of your card slots and uses its own card slot. So you get 5 cards plus 1 Rooney. You will never have more than 6 total cards, including the Rooney, on a plot of land. So they mentioned that. Let's see. And they also mentioned when land does come out that you will be able to delegate cards from one account to a secondary account. That secondary account can then use the delegated cards to put them as workers on land that they might have on their account. So I think this is also a good thing. So I wanted to bring both of those up. And yeah, if you guys like this type of content and hopefully want to see more from me, please hit that like and subscribe button and share this with all your friends, guildmates, whatever it takes. And hope to see you guys next time. I'm going to try to be putting out more content as often as I can, and would love to hear your guys' feedback. So leave comments below, correct me if I was wrong on anything, let me know your thoughts. Again, thank you everyone. We will catch you next time.